Hey, it's Brian King here. I was having a conversation with a client this morning, and one of what I call a popular autism myth came up. This idea that people on the spectrum simply cannot see the gray areas, can't appreciate them, will only function forever in a black and white world. This is false. Speaking for myself and speaking for how I've been able to help clients over the years and how I've raised my own sons, we absolutely can learn to appreciate the grays. Whether we're able to consider them right out of the gate is a different story. I still find myself defaulting to black and white as my initial way of sorting things out or problem solving. Some issue comes up and somebody asks me, what do I want to do, or what options do we have here? And I'll think, well, we can do this or we can do that. Now, if I was still caught up in my ego around that, I would stop right there and insist that the rest of the world get in line with my black and white view of the world. But with maturity, trial and learning, and my own unquenchable motivation to be much more effective and productive in the world, I have learned to appreciate two things: that gray areas exist and are a ubiquitous way of things, outside of my own brain. I also realize that, actually more than a couple things. I realize that my way of looking at the world is subjective. I've learned what it means for me to be on the spectrum. And one of those things means my default setting is black and white thinking. So for all of my fellow spectrumites, get over yourself. Okay, you have to realize that your lens on the world is your lens. And there are many other people that have other perspectives, other experiences, have experienced solutions you haven't, and have something to add. So what I've learned is gray areas exist. I'm just not tuned into them, okay? And because I can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. I can't see electricity either. I can't see gravity, but I know it's working, all right? So what I've learned is when I have a hard time getting beyond black and white, this is what I do. And this works beautifully in a lot of my professional relationships and even in some of my more personal ones. I'll say, well, the options I came up with are this and this. Are there some other options that you think I should consider? I'm not asking somebody else to tell me how to think or to tell me what to do. I'm asking them to cue me into things that I very likely missed. And when they give me their suggestions, I can now incorporate those into the options I now have for what solutions are available to me, what actions I can possibly take. So it's not a matter of reprogramming my brain to suddenly see the grays. It's beginning to understand that my brain misses stuff. I miss nonverbal cues. Now, one of the crux of the strategies I've come up with over the years, and a lot of what makes what I teach so outside the box, unique and powerful, is I teach people to first understand where the gaps are and the way their brain works, and then develop ways to get the same information, but in a very creative way. And other people don't teach that. What they teach you is you have to memorize facial expressions. You have to pay attention to body posture and all that crap our brain doesn't do. That's like trying to get a blind person to appreciate color. Say, well, that red's there, blue's there, and you just have to be motivated and you just have to concentrate and really focus, and you'll see those colors if you believe in yourself. Bullshit alert, okay? We know it's there. We can't see it, but there are intact functions in our brain that allow us to get at it a different way while still respecting who we are. But just because we are who we are does not give us a get-out-of-jail-free card from having to acknowledge those things. Because your default setting is black and white does not give you an excuse to not appreciate the grays, okay? What it does is it tells you you must find a different way to account for the grays. And I've just given you one approach, which is, hey, what other things do you think I should consider? If you've encountered this before, what worked for you? So you can now incorporate more than two options, black or white, into your problem solving. So that's my 2 cents on this. I hope it was helpful. Share it with your spouse who is a little spectrumy. Share it with your child who's a little married to their black and white way of the world, or somebody else you know that's like that. Hopefully they'll be open to it, and you'll be able to introduce a new way of seeing the world for them. This has been Brian. We'll talk again soon.